Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Engage 8 podcast. I am Josh with my co-host Mike. Today we are going to be updating you on the NBA playoffs as most of these series have gone at least two games. A couple of them are only one, but we will talk about all eight series. And then at the end, we are going to do our final mock draft as the draft is tomorrow as we're recording this. This will come out right before the draft on Thursday. So we will start here with the NBA. Bucks and Pacers. We are two games into this series. The Pacers lead 2-0. First game was essentially a blowout. I know they finished only 19 points up, but this game was a blowout throughout. Giannis had to do it all himself. 38 minutes in this game. He put up 36 points, but a plus minus of minus 18. He can't do it all himself. He shot 8 for 15 from the free throw line, which that's classic Giannis. 14 for 23 from the field. Kevin Porter Jr. was fine off the bench with 14. The bench was a lot better than the starters in this game. They finished with low plus minuses of -2, -4, -6, where the starters were all at least -13, with Kyle Kuzma leading with -24, playing 22 minutes, recording not a single stat except for two personal fouls. Kuzma was absolutely horrible in this game. Flash forward to last night's game where the Bucks lose by 8 points in Dame Lillard's first game back. Dame plays 37 minutes in his first game back, just 14 points on 4 for 13 shooting for him though. He was just not there. Looked like he was not there physically, not really there mentally. Yeah, it sucks to see. And the Bucks wasted their Bobby Portis game as he goes for 28 points and 12 boards in this game in 32 minutes, 11 for 19 from the field, hit six threes in this game, and they were still not able to get it done. They were down, I believe, like 10-ish points at halftime. They were in the game. They kind of stayed in that range for the entire game, but they were just not able to get over that hump of 8 or 10 points. The Pacers put up 123 in this game, with Siakam having 24, Halliburton having 21. Halliburton struggled in the first game. They still were able to win a blowout. He was a little bit better in this game, still not great, 3 for 10 from three. He needs to shoot it a lot better, but with Halliburton not shooting it well at all in these first two games and the Pacers winning fairly easily, I see this being a quick series now. I did pick the Bucks to win, but I'm fully going back on that. I think the Pacers are going to easily win this series, probably in 5 games.
Yeah, the Pacers so far in the series have dominated the Bucks in this matchup. Siakam's been solid so far in this series for him. Tyrese Halliburton, like you said, struggled in game one, but in game two, he was pretty good. Just all around the Pacers offensive lineup and just offense in general is just looks like it's too much for the Bucks to handle. They have so many guys. They're a very, very deep team, like we said in the preview. Neesmith's been great. He shot 4 for 5 from three yesterday, and as a team, they shot six. They've been shooting. They shot 45% yesterday and about 40% game one from three. Pretty solid. 100% from the free throw line yesterday for the Pacers, while the Bucks were sitting at about 70%. The um the Pacers, like I said, I think their offense is kind of just too much to handle. They have so many weapons. They're very deep. Their starting lineup is also very, very good. It's been dominant in this series so far. In game one, they almost everybody in the starting lineup was hovering around plus 25. I think they just outmatched this Bucks team, and with them not getting Dame Lillard back until just recently, he's a little rusty, hasn't been with the team for a while. I think the Pacers are going to cruise here to a pretty simple, maybe Pacers in 5 or 6. Unless Giannis can take over. We've seen the Bucks come back from 2-0 series before, so
That was
Giannis is going to have
unnecessary.
to take over.
That was completely unnecessary. Didn't have to do
Sorry,
that.
I
They're
mean,
not doing it in this series. They had Chris Middleton,
they've
then
done it
now they have
before.
Kyle Kuzma.
That's true.
But we'll move on here to the next game on what was that, Saturday where this started with the Nuggets and the Clippers. This series is currently knotted up at 1-1. The first game was easily the best game of the weekend as the Nuggets win 112 to 110 over the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard is fully back now, played 41 minutes in this game, which is not a good pace for Kawhi. You do not need to see Kawhi playing 40 minutes in the first game of the playoffs. He ended up playing 39 in the second game as well. Second game was significantly more dominant for him as he had 40, 39 on 15 for 19 shooting, which is just dominant. In that first game, though, we'll flash back to that one. Clippers started out really hot in that game. It looked like it was going to be a Clippers runaway win in that first quarter, but the Nuggets just stayed in there. Jamal Murray finishes with 48 minutes, played every single minute of this game. despite coming off of an injury going into this playoff series. He still plays 48 minutes. He looked pretty solid. He didn't shoot it very efficiently, but he was able to bring in 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 21 points. He was solid. We see Nikola Jokic play 46 minutes in this game. Aaron Gordon play 46 minutes in this game. My biggest concern with this Nuggets team is their depth. I mean, game one of this series, you have three players play more than 45 minutes, one player on the bench, and Russell Westbrook played 34 minutes. And this first game was the Russell Westbrook game. He did exactly what you expect from Russell Westbrook. He had a couple plays that won his team this game and a couple plays that probably should have lost his team this game. He gets the ball. If there's one guy in front of him, he's going to shoot it. He doesn't care if he can dribble out the clock and win the game. That doesn't matter to him at all. He's going to go to the rim. And I respect it. That's why he's so fun to watch. I wouldn't want him on my team because that would be brutal to lose a series because Westbrook wants to be aggressive when he should just dribble it out. But as a fan sitting back, it's just so fun to watch. Jokic in this first game also almost finishes with a triple double, 1 rebound short. In the second game, also came down to the wire. The Clippers win this one after being down early, 105 to 102. Ivica Zubac been really, really good in this series so far. He played 40 minutes, led the team in minutes in game two, finishes with 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 points. He did have 5 personal fouls in this game and still played 40 minutes, which tells you the confidence that Tyronn Lue has in him. Off the bench, nobody was super, super productive off the bench for them. Batum had 6, Derrick Jones had 6. We saw 2 points from Ben Simmons and 0 for 5 from the field for Bogdan Bogdanovic. But this was the Kawhi Leonard game. Like I said, 39 points for him, plus 6 for him on the day. Norman Powell was pretty bad in the starting lineup, 5 for 14 from the field. But the Clippers get it done. They don't shoot it extremely well overall, but they shoot 38% from three. And they beat a Nuggets team who hit 14 threes and shot at 43.8% from three. So this series is going to be really good. I see this series going to 7. I hate for the Nuggets that they had to lose home court advantage and lose one at home, but it was important that they came back and won that first game, stole that one away from the Clippers, and they just got to win one of the next two to be in a good spot in LA.
Yeah, so far this Clippers team has been pretty impressive to me so far. I think they should have won that game one, but the Nuggets come back. That big shot by Westbrook late in the game wins them the game. But so far, I think it's just this Clippers starting lineup has been huge. We see Norman Powell, he's up and down, but he's been solid. James Harden was great in game one. In game two wasn't as good, but we saw Kawhi Leonard just go nuclear in game two. Zubac has been good all series. Offensively, he's been solid, and defensively, he's been pretty good so far in this series. Jokic shooting 50% in both games, 29 points in game one, 26 points in game two. And I think holding Jokic to those numbers on 50% shooting in the playoffs, that's something you kind of live with. That's not too bad. If you're able to slow down him, keep Jamal Murray from lighting up the box score as well, you probably will beat this Nuggets team, and we saw them do it here in this game. The offensive lineup, starting lineup for the Clippers, thinking about football too much. Chris Dunn has been solid for him. He's a very good fifth piece for this starting lineup. Defensively, he's able to just take a lot of that pressure off of James Harden. We know James Harden isn't the best defender, and you got a guy like Chris Dunn. He's a kind of a defensive specialist, so that's big for them there. And then in this series, Kawhi Leonard, 41 minutes in game one, like you said. In game two, 39 minutes. Those are big numbers for him. We know how his knees usually go, so hopefully he's able to stay healthy in these playoffs because he's one of the best players when he's playing. 15 for 19 shooting in game two, 39 points, only 5 free throws. It's just so good, and it's a shame that we haven't been able to see him healthy for his entire career.
Okay, we can move on now here to the back to the East with the Knicks and the Pistons, another series that is tied at 1-1 between the 3 seed Knicks and the 6 seed Pistons. This first game was just heartbreaking for the Pistons, and especially after what happened the other night where the Pistons win game two in MSG. It's hard to imagine that they're just a few possessions away in this game from being up 2-0, winning both games in New York. They dominated for the first 2 to 3 quarters, especially that third quarter. They win by 10 points, but they give up a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter, led by None other than Cameron Payne, who leads this team in plus minus in game one with a plus 23, had 14 points, hit three threes off the bench, 5 for 7 from the field. Him and Jalen Brunson just absolutely took over in that fourth quarter. They combined for 48 points for the game. On the Pistons side, Jalen Duren really struggled in this game. A minus 20 plus minus for him. He was just not great when he was on the court, only played 25 minutes due to the fact that he just could not produce effective minutes for them. Just 7.6 rebounds for him. Cade was good. He had 21 points, but on 21 shots, so not very efficient for him. Malik Beasley was great off the bench at 6 threes. He's been a sharpshooter his whole career, especially the past few years with the Bucks and the Pistons. He's been just strictly a 3-point specialist, and the Pistons have been able to get him in positions where he can succeed there. Tobias Harris was the best player for the Pistons in this game. He had 25 on 8 for 13 shooting. Philly fans got to be watching this game like, where the hell was this Tobias Harris when we signed him for $100 million for 4 years? Because he was just not that in Philly, and he comes to back to Detroit, and he was great in this game. 25 points, minus 16 plus minus, but 25 points for him. Sar Thompson was pretty good defensively, but that 21-0 run just completely sold this game for the Pistons. So they move on to game two, where they win a 100-94. Cade was much better in this game, put up 21 shots again, but this game he had 33 points on those 21 shots. Also had 12 rebounds, 5 turnovers for him. Tobias Harris was not as good in this game, but still puts up 15 for him. Jalen Duren was a lot better, went from a minus 20 to a minus 8 in this game, 12 points and 13 rebounds for Duren. He was everywhere. He was great defensively as well. 3 blocks for him. The Knicks, on the other hand, Jalen Brunson, another big time game for him. 37 points. Does it on 27 shots though. Mikal Bridges 3 for 11 from three. You do not need a game where Mikal Bridges is shooting 11 threes at this point, and he's been under a lot of scrutiny. And I love Mikal. And during the regular season, he is a dominant defender. But there has been times in the playoffs with the Knicks and with the Suns, where he has struggled to find somebody that's a perfect matchup for him because some of the forwards are a little bit too big and a little bit too strong for him to guard, and you need him to guard like a 2 or a 3 that's gonna try to beat you off the dribble and isn't too fast. That's the perfect matchup for Mikal, and it's just hard to find that matchup sometimes in the playoffs where he's either gonna go against a guard who's gonna be able to dribble right past him because they're faster than him, or a forward that's too big. So they just need to find the right matchups for Mikal, and if he's not going to be able to be his fully impactful self on defense, he's going to need to be able to hit some threes and be effective offensively. And he was not in this game. 3 for 11 from three for him. But yeah, the Pistons did almost choke this one away too. They were up for most of the game, held the 10-point lead for most of this game, but late in the fourth quarter, it looked like they were going to choke it away again. Luckily, they do not, so they go back home to Detroit after taking one in New York. Should have took two in New York, and they're in a really good position to possibly win this series. I still like the Knicks because I think the Knicks have enough playoff experience that they're going to be able to get this done, and they have better, more reliable scorers on both ends. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting series, and we'll see. It's funny to see a campaign have a phenomenal playoff game in game one and then get 4 minutes and put up 0 points in game two. Three
Playoff
fouls too.
campaign is a different animal. But the Pistons really should be up 2-0 in this series. They had game one. If it wasn't for that 21-0 run, I think they would have probably won that game. Unfortunately, that happened. But game one, we saw Karl Anthony Towns play very well, 23 points. He was plus 22, 10 for 14. Brunson was very good. Um, Overall in this series so far, Brunson's been solid, but he hasn't been as good as you'd want him to be. He hasn't been the best player on the Knicks. You want him a little bit more from him. The free throw disparity, as much as the
Scary.
Pistons fan, as much as the Pistons fans are upset with how Jalen Brunson is reffed with all the foul baiting and all the flopping. In game two, Knicks shot 19 free throws, Pistons shot 34 free throws. In game one, the Knicks shot 17 free throws, the Pistons shot 20. So Pistons have a significant free throw advantage so far. But Jalen Brunson does foul bait a lot, and it can be frustrating to watch. Asar Thompson's a very physical defender. He's a very good defender, so you don't want to get him in foul trouble. He fouled out in game two. In game one, he finished with 5 fouls, so he's getting reffed hard, but he's playing solid defense on Brunson, slowing him down. And if you're gonna foul out and gonna hold Brunson to in game two, he had 37 points, so he did score a lot, but you're able to hold him to you got to contain him somehow, and I guess you're gonna have to use up all the fouls. So it's been a great start for the Pistons. If they can go back, there's really no place in the playoffs like LCA. It's gonna
Yeah,
be crazier than the Garden. So
yeah,
Cade Cunningham's
that's what
been
they're saying.
great, and hopefully they can continue. Malik Beasley as well is a very underrated piece for this Pistons team. He was solid in game one, struggled a little bit in game two, but a very good bench piece for him. And they need Cade Cunningham to continue to dominate because Brunson is very, very good and he's been putting up numbers, but you got to find a way to slow him down somehow.
Okay, we will move on here to the Timberwolves Lakers series. This series is also 1-1. I love that we have a ton of 1-1 series here. We'll start with game one, where the Timberwolves beat the brakes off this Lakers team. They were really, really good, especially in the first half of this game. They win the second quarter 38-20 in game one. Anthony Edwards plays 35 minutes, not his most efficient self. Goes 4 for 9 from three, 22 points on 22 shots. Jaden McDaniels was phenomenal, 11 for 13 from the field, 25 points. He's one of those guys that if you're going to get great offensive production from him, they're going to be a tough team to beat because he's so good defensively. That's not going to change each game. And if he can shoot 25 points on 13 shots and plus 27 plus minus, he's going to be a really hard out. Naz Reid as well, 8 for 12 from the field, 23 points. When you have a guy like Anthony Edwards, who at points can be inefficient, but he can go also get you 50 points in a game, you need your role players like Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid to be able to put up efficient, good offensive nights. And they were able to do that in this game for the Timberwolves. The Lakers, on the other hand, Luka was phenomenal, 37 points on 22 shots. Braun had 19, was not his best self in this game. Austin Reeves was pretty bad, 5 for 13 from the field, 16 points. He's supposed to be this playoff performer. He needs to be a lot better for the Lakers, and just nothing from the Lakers bench in this game. They have a total of, what is it, like 10 to 13. They had 13 bench points in this game. Naz Reid himself had 23 for the Timberwolves, and that was the complete difference in this game. They just need to be a lot more efficient, and they need their role players to step up, and they did in game two as the Lakers win 94-85. I don't know if you saw the clip from JJ Redick just absolutely motherfucking the Lakers after that timeout. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was so funny. I love to see that. Good to see passionate coaching in the NBA. We don't always see that. In this game, we see Jaden McDaniels just 8 points, 3 for 11, a lot more inefficient in this game. A big reason why they lost this game. Naz Reid as well, 3 for 8 from the field, 9 points. That's going to be the difference. Those are the two players, like I said, that if they're giving you something offensively, you're going to be in a good spot. And if they're not, you're probably going to be in a rough spot. And regardless of the 27 from Julius Randle and the 25 from Ant, they just were not able to get anything going offensively. Mike Conley starts and goes 0 for 5 from the field. 1 assist, 0 points for him, which is very, very bad. And the Lakers, they get 31 from Luka, 21 from Braun, significantly better than the first game. Austin Reeves gets 16 once again, over 6 from 3. He needs to be more efficient, but the Lakers were just much more engaged on defense in this game, and that was able to give them the game. But still, even with them winning this game, they did not look great. The Lakers have not looked great through the first two games. I know the Timberwolves are very good defensively, but the Lakers just need to find a way to break through and score on this team. 95 points and 94 points in the first two games is not going to get it done. And if you are going to do that, you just have to be a lot more locked in defensively. So we'll see if the Lakers have that in them to lock in defensively. But at this point, through two games, I have not loved what I've seen from the Lakers.
I have not loved what I've seen from the Lakers as well. Two games now, two pretty bad offensive games. 95 points in game one, 94 in game two, like you said. Luckily, in game two, their defense showed up and was able to dominate, holding the Timberwolves to 85 points. Timberwolves really didn't have any scoring outside of Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards in game two. Those were the two big guys. Jaden McDaniels, who was great in game one, just did not have it in game two. They were able to lock him down there. But in game one, the Lakers defense didn't have enough. The Timberwolves starting lineup had a big day. Jaden McDaniels, 25 points, 11 for 13 shooting, hit all of his threes. The Timberwolves shot 50% from three in game one. That's really the big disparity. They only shoot 20% in game two, only hit five threes. So if the Lakers defense is going to show up and if the Timberwolves aren't going to hit shots, the Lakers are going to win. But you can't really bet on that in the NBA right now. I expect the Timberwolves to be shooting better in most of these games. So the Lakers are going to have to go out there and get some points. Luka was great in game two, but LeBron just kind of solid. Didn't really stand out too much. 21 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, which is a good stat line, but you want a little bit more from LeBron here, and especially when you got him as your top two guys. But Luka was great in game two. Um, and he was great in game one as well. So far, he's been the alpha for this Lakers team, 37 and 31, I believe. So they're really the whole story is the Lakers offense is going to have to be better throughout this series. Maybe they need a little injection of Bronny James and put him in the lineup a little bit, get him in the rotation, and maybe
Like
that'll
that.
wake LeBron up, get
Uh,
him his first playoff points.
I like that a lot. He had a couple chances in that first game, but
Yeah.
couldn't get it done. We'll move on here to the Thunder and the Grizzlies, and I don't have a ton to say about this series. This series couldn't be more over. The Thunder are just so much better of a team than the Grizzlies are. Like game one, they win by 51 points. I saw online people were talking about introducing a new idea where if you lose by 50 in game one, the series is over.
Yeah.
So end of the game, if you're down 48, 49 points, uh, or 50 or 51 points late in the game one, you those minutes matter, and you need to have your starters in there trying to make sure that you don't go out in one game. But some of the stats from this game are just absolutely insane to me. Desmond Bane finishes with a minus 51 plus minus. I don't know if I've ever seen that bad of a plus minus in my life in basketball. Minus 51 is insane. I don't know how that's even possible in just 27 minutes too, which is just
Yeah.
27 minutes minus 51 is crazy. John Concar played 25 minutes. He was minus 28 off the bench. We see Scottie Pippen Jr. starts minus 39, John Morant minus 25, Jaren Jackson 36, Edie 38. Just overall, absolutely horrible. I don't have much to say. I mean, I want to give credit to the Thunder because they're just a very good team as well, but this Grizzlies team just had nothing going for them, and they're not nearly good enough offensively to compete with this Thunder defense. And we see it in game two as they lose this one by a little bit less than 19 points, but still not great. John Morant has more shots than points. Jaren Jackson had 26 in this game. We see Shea put up 27, and Shea wasn't even that good in the first game for the Thunder at all. And they still win by 51. He wasn't great in this game either. 29 points, or sorry, 27 points on 29 shots for him. So finished was like 8 rebounds, 5 assists. But this Thunder team's dangerous, man. They're going to beat the brakes off the Grizzlies. They're most likely going to win whoever they play with the Clippers and the Nuggets, although I think that series will be a lot better. But to me, the Thunder are still easily the favorite to come out of the West.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what G.G. Jackson did to not see the court in game one. He must have pissed off the coach in something because when you're losing by 50 points and you still don't find your way onto
Yeah,
the
that's
court, that's
wild.
that's pretty brutal. No playoff minutes for him there. But yeah, game one couldn't uh couldn't have been more dominant. The Thunder just took over. Jalen Williams was plus 44 for him. Somehow Dylan Jones, he was minus four. That's about it for the Thunder minuses. Just a complete dominance so far in this matchup. The Thunder just have too much. Their defense is too much for the Grizzlies to handle. 80 points in game one, 99 in game two. And their offense is just, I mean, is great as well. They have so many defensive guys that they're able to throw at John Morant. You got Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, Kassan Wallace, Alex Caruso. So many guards that are so good defensively. And then you got some great big men defensively as well. Chet, he had 5 blocks in game two. So it's really just a dominant series so far, and it's going to be very hard to beat this Thunder team, especially at home, even when they have a fan not put on the t-shirt.
For
So
sure, yeah.
yeah, so dominant so far, and I don't think the Grizzlies have enough to really compete with this Thunder team in the playoffs. Last year gave the Thunder some playoff experience, and they're going and running with it, and they've been dominant so far.
Extremely off topic, but really quick, have you ever used the iPhone like shake to undo thing? Or like if you shake your phone, like the undo typing pops up. Have you ever used that?
I didn't even know that was a thing. Shake that.
You've never like dropped like you moved your phone and undo typing has popped up?
No,
Oh, it pops up for me like every 2 seconds, and I've never like actually like I need to turn that off. I don't understand the point of that. Who's ever intentionally used that?
mine doesn't do that.
Type something and then shake your phone, it'll pop up.
Oh yeah, wow.
I know. I've never ever used it, but it pops up for me every day, and I always click cancel.
Maybe I just don't shake my phone like that.
Yeah, I guess I'll write notes and then I'll put my phone down and then it pops up, and it's why would I ever need whatever. Next series here, Celtics
I just
Magic.
got a shakedown too.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess some people use that. I don't know. Celtics Magic game one. Celtics lead the series 1-0. This game one went exactly how I expect this series to go. The Celtics are a great team, well rounded. They're great offensively. They're great defensively. The Magic are just really, really good defensively. They've had the Celtics number because they've been able to shut them down and have a couple hot shooting nights. But if the Celtics continue to play defense how they have all season, a one-dimensional team like the Magic just isn't going to be able to beat them, and that's what we saw in this game. The Magic were able to hold them to just 103, but the Celtics defense is so good that the Magic couldn't put up more than 86 points in this game, and that's 86 with Paolo Banchero having a 36-point night, 11 rebounds. He's such a stud. Paolo's so good. Franz Wagner also has 23 points in this game, but nobody else was able to really produce anything offensively. The next highest score is 7 points with Jonathan Isaac off the bench in 18 minutes. The Celtics, Derek White has 30 in this game. He's such a dog. Peyton Pritchard off the bench gives you 19. Jaylen Brown and Tatum both had 16 and 17. Neither of them shot it well. All I really have to say about the Celtics right now is I'm worried about the Jason Tatum injury for sure. Apparently, he's doubtful for game two with the Magic, so we'll see if he plays. Probably not. I don't think they really need him, even if he has to miss this game. I think they'll be fine. I'm just realizing for the first time now that Torrey Craig is on the Celtics, so congratulations to him. He might get a ring this year. Played 1 minute in this game, didn't record a single stat, but yeah, I'm not worried about the Celtics at all. I think they'll be fine. I think Jaylen Brown has to be a lot more efficient. He struggled. He's been a little bit banged up. He struggled over the past month or so. With Tatum out, he's gonna have to go back to prime Jaylen Brown, and hopefully he can. Maybe if Tatum has to miss significant time and Jaylen Brown continues to be inefficient, maybe the Magic can grab one or two this series. But the Celtics are so deep. I think even with their bench depth pieces, they could win this series.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, that's exactly it. And that's kind of the issue I have with Jason Tatum in some of these conversations. He goes in game one, he does play 40 minutes still, even
Yeah.
with whatever injury he has. Goes 8 for 22, 17 points, and his team still wins by 17 points. So just a dominant game. Peyton Pritchard was good in game one, 19 points off the bench. He's the sixth man of the year for the NBA. Well deserved. He's been great all season. Derek White puts up 30 points on 7 for 12 from three, 10 for 18 from the field. He was great in that game. The Celtics just have so much weapons just that they can play at any time. Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford off the bench has been good. Sam Hauser can come in and give you three or four threes in a game. And that offensive lineup is just so good. I still think they're probably my favorite to come out of the East. Um, but they just have too much for the Magic to handle. Like you said, Banchero was great, Wagner was great, and they weren't close in the game. So they could probably just rest Jason Tatum for a couple games in this series, and I think they'll be perfectly fine with that wrist injury that he has. So, good win for the Celtics, and I expect them to continue to dominate.
So you're saying your problem with Tatum is his team is so good that he doesn't even need to be good?
Kind of. I mean, that's it's not his fault, but he's also got to show up and be the best player at some point. Like he's got to go out there and have consistently good games. He can go out there and just put up stinkers multiple times in the playoffs, and his team will still win. Where I mean, you got other guys that really isn't the same for. Like if Jokic goes out there and puts up 17 points on 8 for 22 shooting, his team's gonna get destroyed most likely.
All right, I just wanted to hear you shit on Tatum a little bit more, just so we can clip that, and the Celtics fans will love that. But we'll finish. Or no, we have. Or no, yeah, it's the last one here. Golden State. Golden State and the Rockets is the last one, right? Someone we haven't talked about, I believe.
Yeah.
I think we talked about every other series, but yeah, Golden State leads 1-0 on the Rockets, 95-85 defensive game here with two teams who have been pretty solid defensively. The Rockets started out great in this
Yeah.
game. They had a great first quarter. It looked like they were going to be able to control game one here, but Curry and the Warriors just take over in this one. Curry finishes with 31. Jimmy Butler, playoff performer, plus 14, 25 points for him. Pods finishes with a team high plus 17, plus minus 14 points for him. The Rockets, on the other hand, just were not able to shoot the ball at all. 6 for 29 from three for them is just not a recipe for success. Alfred Sengun leads the team in scoring with 26. Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet essentially no shows. They shoot 4 for 19 and 3 for 15. Tour dates for them. Jabari Smith, he shoots 3 for 3 from the field in 25 minutes, 11 points. Would have liked to see him get some more shots in this game, but he did turn the ball over 4 times. Dylan Brooks, classic Dylan Brooks, 3 for 9, 11 points, was solid defensively. But yeah, of course you got to worry about the Rockets here, losing game one at home to the 7 seed Warriors. I still think the Rockets make this a series, though. They're so good defensively that, I mean, they shot 6 for 29 from three in this game and lost by 10 points. So I think the Rockets are still going to be fine. I think they do take game two tonight against Golden State. I expect them to take game two. And I still think the Rockets can win the series. I just need to see more from them offensively. I need to see them shoot better percentages. And you need at least one of Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green, your two lead guards. One of them has to be dominant each game. If you have a game like this where they both suck, it's going to be tough for you to beat a team like the Warriors.
Yeah, game one, Warriors 95-85. kind of dominant. Steph Curry, great. Jimmy Butler was very good, and they have the playoff experience and the two guys who are playoff risers at this point that can go out there and dominate. Draymond Green is solid defensively, but really just the two superstars were great in this game and played pretty much the entire game. Dylan Brooks wasn't great. Sengun was really the best player for the Rockets in this game. He had 26 points on 11 for 18, but uh, the Rockets just got to be able to play better offense. We know they're a very good defensive team, very physical team, but offensively they cannot put up 85 points, and they cannot have a game where in the second quarter they lost 29 to 13, lost by 16 in that quarter. It's hard to come back from that. So we'll see if they can come back and bounce back today, but I still like the Warriors to win this series. I think they just have the threats, the shooting threats. They have more shot making. I mean, we saw in this game, Amen Thompson can play perfect defense, and Steph Curry still finds a way to hit a shot. So it's very frustrating, and we'll see if it boils over and if the Warriors can continue to take over.
We did forget a series. We forgot
Yes.
about the Cavs and the Heat. The Cavs win game one, 121 to 100. With Tyler Hero and Bam both having solid games, 21 and 24 points for them respectively. But the Cavs are just such a well-rounded, deep team. They're able to get 28 points off the bench from Ty Jerome, who's been sneaky, a very, very good bench player all year for the Cavs. Not really sneaky, people know about him, but uh, Donovan Mitchell, 19 shots, 30 points for him, 17 shots for Garland. He gets 27. Just very efficient numbers throughout this game for the Cavs. They are great on the glass. They win the rebounding battle 42 to 37. They about finished with about the same amount of assists as the Cavs, but they shoot it very well from three, 41.9% from three. In this game, they shoot it 51% from the field, just a lot more efficient than the Cavs, especially with their leading scorers. And we get a Davion Mitchell versus Donovan Mitchell 45 versus 45 matchup here, which is interesting to see. I'd like to see more of that throughout the series, although Davion Mitchell does finish with a minus 20 plus minus on the game. But yeah, the Heat just aren't a good team to be to be completely honest. They weren't great during the regular season. It's a problem that we have with the play-in where a team like the Heat can get in and I mean, granted, nobody in the East in that play-in was ever going to do any damage here in the early round against the one or the two seed, but still, the Heat are not a good team. The Cavs are a great team. They're 34 and 7 at home on the year. I still think the Cavs will win this in a sweep or at most 5 games.
Yeah, is this the first 10 seed in the playoffs? I think it might be.
I don't know.
I thought there was a chance that it was, but it really doesn't matter. I think they're gonna get dominated most of this series. The Cavs team is so good.
The
Donovan
Pelicans might have
Mitchell
been one
and
year.
Darius Garland, fantastic, yeah. Jared Allen, they're great defensively as well. Off the bench, like you said, Ty Jerome was huge, 28 points. Really was the only bench scoring for him, and it didn't matter. And then for the Heat, they just don't have enough weapons. Wiggins was okay. Adebayo was good, but just too many guys with inefficient shooting. They shot 40% from three, which is solid, but only got to the free throw line 12 times. Um, got out rebounded in this game. So I don't have too much to say. The Cavs were dominant in this game at home. I expect that to continue, and I still think the Cavs get out of this series in about 5 games. So 5 or 6. I'd say probably 5.
Okay, we'll move on to our mock draft then. We're going to do the full first round this time. We are going to switch up the picks. Mike's going to do the odd number picks. I'm going to do the even number picks. We'll try to not have this take too long because we're doing 32 picks, but we'll try to talk about every single one. So, Mike, you could start us off. Make your pick at number one.
Yeah, for number one, I'm actually gonna go with no, I'm going Cam Ward. I think it's a pretty simple pick. Everybody knows his 5 favorite receivers all time is like
Calvin
DeAndre
Ridley,
Hopkins, Calvin Ridley,
Treylon Burks.
Traylon Burks. Yeah. So I think it's pretty written in stone that Cam Ward is going to Tennessee, and we'll see if it works out for him. He's a good talent. He's gonna be there with Will Levis. Who knows if they move on from Will Levis, but I got Cam Ward first overall.
Okay, at two, we took Abdul Carter in the last one, but it's looking like all signs are pointing to Travis Hunter at two. So I'm going to take Travis Hunter at two to the Cleveland Browns. He's a player that is just the quintessential best player available, even if your team doesn't need a corner or doesn't need a guy who can play a little bit of receiver. He's a guy that can do both. He's a guy that's so well rounded. And he, like I said in the last mock draft, when I took him to the Giants. He's going to be a top corner in this league, and he gives you the benefit of you can craft up some packages for him to play receiver. So give me Travis Hunter at 2. It seems like that's what's going to happen at this point.
Yeah, at 3, this is an interesting one because if they didn't sign 12 quarterbacks in the offseason, I would 100% expect them to just go and take Shadur Sanders. But right now, it looks like Shadur could fall completely out of the first round, which is shocking. So, although it's not really the biggest need for them, I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter. He's just so good. He's maybe the best defensive edge. He is the best defensive edge in this draft, maybe the best defensive player in this draft. And although they don't need a defensive end, when you can get a talent like him that's completely game changing and add to your already weapons that you have out there, that wouldn't shock me. And it also wouldn't shock me if someone is desperate to trade up for this number 3 overall pick here for Abdul Carter. So I'll take Abdul Carter here.
Yeah, wait till I do my trade late in the draft. But um number 4 for the Patriots. This is a spot where there's been rumors that the Bears might trade up to number 4
Yeah.
and take Genti here. Uh yeah, this is tough for me. I think at this point, if Hunter and Abdul Carter are gone, I do think New England trades out here and does not make
Yeah.
a selection at 4. But in the event they are at 4, because we're not going to do major trades here, I'm gonna go with Mason Graham to go 4. At this point, I think he's the best player available. I don't think the Patriots want to take a wide receiver at number 4 overall. They could actually, you know what? I kind of fucked that up. I wish I could change that on the draft board I'm doing here. All right, whatever. I'll just rock with Mason Graham. I think there's a good chance they go O line as well. I think they could take Will Campbell at 4, but I'll rock with Mason Graham. He's an impact player from the interior defensive line, and he's the second best defensive player in this draft overall. So I think if Carter wasn't in this draft, there's a great chance we see Mason Graham could go all the way up to number 2 overall, but I'll take him here at 4 to the Patriots.
Yeah, at number 5 here. In this position, I could almost see them going Will Campbell. If this were to happen, I think they should go with Will Campbell here. But I've been hearing a lot of news about Ashton Genty going up in the draft and potentially the Jags going and taking him. And as much as I would hate that as a Colts fan, that would suck. But because I love Ashton Genty, I can see it happening, and I can also see a team trading up with 4 or 5 to go and get Ashton Genty, maybe the Bears or even the Raiders. So I think I'm gonna go with Ashton Genty. I think Ashton Genty goes in the top 6. I guess that might be a bold take. I think he either goes at 5, someone trades up for him, or no matter what, I think he goes at 6 to the Raiders. But I think he gets stolen here and the Jags take him. So I got Genty at 5.
Okay, Genty at 5. At number 6, I'm going to pick a guy who we had falling all the way down to number 12 in our original mock draft. I'm going to take Ted McMillan here at 6 to
Hmm?
the Raiders. I think the Raiders really would want to go with Genty here at number 5, but I think they settle for a receiver here and take probably the best one in the draft here with Ted McMillan at 6. He's an impact guy. He's great on the outside. He can play inside if you need him to, and I think will be a difference maker immediately for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think this would be almost an ideal situation for the Jets here. They get uh, guys to fall. They could go and get Shadur, but you got Justin Fields now. And I think you go and give him some offensive line help. Get Will Campbell if he somehow falls to them at 7. I think this would be a home run pick for him. Will Campbell at 5 to the Jets, or at 7 to the Jets.
Yeah, well, it's some of the Jets. Got you. Okay, at number 8 for the Panthers. This is a very interesting pick. I'm back and forth on this one because I want to go defense here. And he's soaring up the draft board right now. I'm gonna take Jalen Walker from Georgia. It looks
That's what
like
I
he's
did.
gonna go a lot. What was it?
That's what I did.
Yeah. Oh, is that what we had for the
Yeah.
last one too? Oh, I don't remember that. But yeah, he's soaring up the draft boards. It looks like he's gonna be a top 10, top 12 pick in this draft. He can play edge. He can also drop back and play a lot of coverage. He can play off ball. He can play on ball. He's super versatile, and I think a team like the Panthers who just needs to add to their defense, whether it's in the run game or in the coverage game or rushing the passer, I think a guy like Jalen Walker can cover most of those, and I think he's an easy pick here at 8.
Yeah, I think that'd be great for the Panthers. Number 9 to the Saints. Again, I would love a shocking Shadur Sanders pick from him here, but at this point I think I'm just gonna let it go for a while. I think I'm gonna go. And I mean, they have a decent amount of needs. They could go corner. They could go offensive line. They need offensive line help, but I think they saved the offensive line for a little bit later in the draft. And I think I'm gonna go with I want to go with Will Johnson, but I also feel like Will Johnson could fall as well. Um, you know, I'm just gonna stick with Will Johnson. I think they go and get a corner. They need cornerback help. As much as I can see him falling, I think Will Johnson goes here. They need corner help. Great corner for Michigan. He's going to help that room immediately. We saw last year them struggle defensively all around. So I'll go Will Johnson at 9.
Okay. At 10, we have the Chicago Bears. And they don't really need offensive line anymore because they did such a good job in the offseason of improving that room. I'm gonna go with they could go with a guy like Mike Green. I feel like Mike Green's starting to fall on a lot of these boards though. I'm going to go with Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia at 10. I think they can use some secondary help. I feel like the secondary has been a bit overrated outside of Jalen Johnson in recent years. And I think them taking a safety like Malachi Starks could help them, maybe not in the immediate future, but at some point, maybe a year down the road, he's going to have to start for this team. And I think he's more than capable of being a starting corner or a starting safety on a great team in the NFL. So give me the Bears taking Malachi Starks at 10.
Yeah, so 49ers at 11. They we saw they're losing a lot of guys specifically on the defensive side of the ball. I think they try and fix some of that. I think they go defensive tackle. They could go with Derek Harmon. He's solid. They could go with Walter Norland from Ole Miss. Um, I think I'm gonna go with Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. I think I've heard that they're pretty linked to him.
Yeah, that's what I would
Kind
have
of
done.
a, kind of a, maybe a little bit of a reach, but I think he could be great for them. The 49ers, they just need help on a lot of aspects defensively. So Walter Nolan to the 49ers.
Okay, the Cowboys are up next at 12. I'm going to I'm gonna take I know Membu's falling a little bit, but I'm gonna take Membu at 12 to the Cowboys. I think we had him going 7 to the Jets in the last mock draft. I picked him there. I'm gonna pick him here at 12. The Cowboys have lost a ton of offensive linemen in recent years to retiring, to other teams, to trades. And I think now is where they can prioritize that and not go flashy. I don't think they by any means should go flashy, although it's Jerry Jones, and maybe they do want to take a guy like Tyler Warren for some reason or a Luther Burden the third, but I think they go Membu. I think it's a smart play for them at 12.
Yeah, so Dolphins at 13. Um, they do need some cornerback help. I think I'm gonna give that to them here. I'm gonna go with Jahdae Barron from Texas. They just need corner help. I think this would be a great pick for them. And I got them taken at 13.
Okay. Wait, you picked two? Jada Barron at 13?
Jahdae Barron.
I think I picked him at 13 in the last one. Okay. Next pick here, we have the Colts. I'm gonna also stick with what we did last time and go Tyler Warren. The Colts had no production from the tight end position all year last year. A ton of drops from the offense. I think Tyler Warren's a guy who had the offense run through him at Penn State, which is a big advantage for a guy that might not have to do that immediately in the NFL, but has the ability to have an offense run through him, and he knows how to be the number one target on an offense. So give me Tyler Warren at 14. I should say passing offense for Penn State when they weren't running the ball.
Yeah, he's a great pass or run blocker as well. At
Mm,
15 with the Falcons, I'm gonna
I'm
go
not sold on
with.
his blocking.
I think he'll be a great, good enough for him. I mean, the Colts don't have really anything there at all.
Yeah.
He's gonna immediately be an improvement in almost every single aspect of the
Yeah.
tight end position. I still have dreams of the Colts just re-signing Morley Cox every single season. So I'd like to. I'd like to get at
He's
some point.
tall.
Maybe it's Colston Loveland, maybe it's Tyler Warren, maybe it's someone later in the draft. I just like new tight end production for the Colts.
Hmm.
At 15, uh, Falcons. We saw their defense struggle last season. I think they're gonna go defense in the first round. They could go with almost any position. They had struggled in the secondary, linebackers. They didn't really have any pass rush at all. Um, I'm gonna stick with them going for a linebacker. I'm gonna go Jihad Campbell from Alabama linebacker. I know the Bills would probably love him. Sean McDermott would probably love him, but I'm gonna stick with him going to the Falcons.
Okay, next pick here is the Cardinals. For the Cardinals, I could see this going multiple different ways for them. They could take a guy who can, they like to take their versatile offensive lineman. They could take a guy like Josh Connerly, who's listed as a tackle but can also play guard. At number 16, man, I'm torn on this one. I am really torn on this one.
I think
You
this
know,
is the pick I struggled
good.
with last time too.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna have them reach for Connerly. I think they like their versatile offensive lineman. I think they continue to build that up. Oh, let's go. The Lions are getting the Hall of Fame game this year. Let's go.
Oh
Lions
wow.
Chargers Hall of Fame game. Let's go.
Who do you guys have going in the Hall of Fame?
Um, I don't think we have anybody going into the Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
I thought they usually pick a
I
team with
thought they
someone
do
going to the
too,
Hall of
but
Fame.
I'm almost positive we don't have anybody going to the Hall of Fame. I'll get into it, but I'm taking Josh Connerly at 16.
At 17 with the Bengals, they need everything on the defensive side of the ball. Shamar
Yeah, we
Stewart
don't have anybody.
is still available, but I think I'm just gonna stick with I'm gonna go with Mike Green, edge from Marshall, freak athlete, um, very freak athlete. He's like in the 99th percentile of most things. He had 17 sacks last season, 23 tackles for loss, 6'3". I'm going with Mike Green to the Bengals. They
I
need
think
help
Mike
on the
Green would
pass
go a
rush.
lot earlier in this draft. Has he had he not have some off-field
Yeah.
controversy that he's dealing with right now? But next one here, Seahawks. The Seahawks absolutely have to go offensive line here, and I'm going to have them take Josh Simmons from Ohio State. Their offensive line is easily the worst part of this team. They're strong almost everywhere else. The only question mark is can they block for whoever their quarterback is, which it's Sam Darnold now. Who knows who it'll be going forward? But give me Josh Simmons at 18 to the Seahawks. Now we're in uncharted territory.
Yeah, we are in uncharted territory. Playoff teams, the Buccaneers, they could use help on defense. Um, didn't have as good of a pass rush as they wanted last season. They could also maybe use a little bit of younger receivers. We saw how scary it was when they had a couple guys go down last season. But I think I'm going to go. The uncharted territory is scary. Um, I'm gonna go with he's fallen a little bit here. I'll go with Shamar Stewart. They need help on the pass rushing. He is big, 6'5", 267. Another guy who's just ridiculous athlete, very fast, very huge. I think that's the guys that the Buccaneers tend to like. So I'm gonna betting on a guy who maybe it takes a little bit of time to develop, but has a very, very high ceiling. So I'll go Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M here.
I know we don't do trades, but I'm going to do a trade at 20.
Oh wow,
I'm going to have the New York
cheating.
Giants trading up and screwing over the Steelers, who might want to take Shedeur Sanders at 21. And I'm going to have the Giants trading up into 20 with the Broncos. I don't know the exact how I want to do this trade for pick wise, but give me Shedeur Sanders at 20 to the Giants, who trade up from 35 to 20.
Oh, that wow, you just stole my whole move
I told
here.
you I was going to do a trade. I told you I was going to do a trade.
Stole my whole move. Now,
Well, you were going to take Shedeur to the Steelers?
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Take Jalen Monroe or
Yeah,
Dart.
I could take Jackson Dart here. That seems like a Steelers guy. And you know what? Maybe I will take Jackson Dart. Who knows? But um, they do need help on the defensive line. They also could use some wide receiver weapons, I guess. But did bring some guys in. I think I'm just gonna, now that my whole game plan is completely thrown off, I'll go with uh I'll go with Derek Harmon, defensive tackle. They need help there. Cam Hayward's getting older, so I'll go with Derek Harmon.
From Oregon, correct? Yep.
Yeah,
Derek Harmon. Okay.
cheated.
I told you I was gonna do it, bro. I told you I was gonna do it. I previewed it at number three, but at 22 here, arguably the steal of the draft, in my opinion, is Luther Burden going 22 to the Chargers. They need wide receiver help next to Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnson. Somebody that can just go play make from the outside because I'm not completely sold on Quentin Johnson. I think Ladd and Luther Burden would be a great two complementary receivers to each other with Luther on the outside, Ladd on the inside. So give me Burden the third from Missouri to the LA Chargers.
Yeah, with the Packers here, they could go multiple different ways. They could go with Micah Williams, edge rusher here. Could go and get maybe a tight end, who knows? But I think I'm going to stick with their little theme that they've had going recently in drafting a wide receiver. I'm going to go with Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas. They love drafting receivers now, especially in the first round now that Aaron Rodgers is gone. I think they bring in another one that is just a solid guy that they can throw into this rotation that they already have. So I'll go with Matthew Golden from Texas.
Okay, for the Vikings, who don't have a ton of needs, to be honest. So I think they're in a best player available kind of situation here. Um, but even with that being said, I think they prioritize the secondary, and I'm going to have them take Trey Amos from Ole Miss. I think they take him here at 24. I think they want to build up that secondary. It's one of the weaker parts of this entire team, but like I said, this team is pretty stacked overall outside of the quarterback position. They don't have a ton of needs, so I think they just draft a guy in the secondary similar to the Bears that they might not need him right away, but in the future they might. So let me get Trey Amos to the Vikings at 24.
Yeah, the Texans at 25. A lot of things they could do as well. They need as much offensive line help as possible. So I think they go offensive line here. It just depends if they want to go with a different guard or a tackle. Um, I think I will go with. I think Kelvin Banks might continue to fall in this, as well as maybe Tyler Booker, but I'll go with Kelvin Banks Jr. They need offensive tackles, and I think they might even trade up to go get offensive tackles after. I mean, they've they've lost so many guys in the offensive line that were already bad, so we know they're going to replace them. So I'll go with Kelvin Banks Jr. there.
At 26, I'm going to have the Rams take Maxwell Hairston, the speedy corner from Kentucky. I think he's a player that Sean McVay is going to want to try to get his hands on, a guy that's super, super fast that you could play at a possible safety position if you need to. He's not the most physical, he's not the best tackler, but I think he's a guy that, due to his just God-given talent and that speed that he led the combine in the 40. I think he's got to be a first round pick. I think he's taken here at 26, but I could also see him falling into the early second round.
Yeah, not down to some teams that really don't have too many holes, but we got the Baltimore Ravens. They could use an some offensive line help. They do need defensive help, and I think that's what I'm gonna take here. And I'll go with Micah Williams, edge from Georgia. They need that pass rushing help. He's very he's big, 6'5", 260 pounds. He's quick as well. I think he'll be great in the NFL, and I trust the Ravens to be able to develop a guy like him. So I'll go with Micah Williams.
See, we're even now because you took my pick for 28.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take James Pierce Jr. at 28 to the Lions. I honestly almost do not expect the Lions to just draft strictly based upon need here. But if you're in a situation at 28 where a guy like James Pierce Jr. is available to you, I think the Lions do pull the trigger then. If they do not have any dominant edges available, I expect the Lions to trade out or take an offensive guard at 28. But there's not a ton of great guards at this point in the draft. And James Pierce Jr. is available at 28. So let me get him to the Lions. I think we had him go. I think you picked him to the Cardinals at 16 in the last draft.
yeah, I think so. Um, On to the Commanders who still need pass rushing help. They need defensive help as well as maybe receiver help. Um, I th the computer is just falling apart right now, but I'm gonna go with uh I can see them. I'm trying to think who do they have as a
I got
tight
another
end right
trade
now?
loading, by the
Oh no,
way.
not another one. Who's the Commanders tight end right now? Is it still
It's Eckers.
it's still Zach Ertz? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I didn't know if he was a free agent or not. I could see them going Colston Loveland here, to be honest, but um, I think they need defensive help. I think they're going to continue to draft guys there to help boost the defense. So I'm gonna go with Nick Amanawari from South Carolina safety, secondary help there. So I'll go with that. Although I think Colston Loveland will probably be gone at this point. It's just again a team probably trading up to get a tight end there.
Okay, who did you take there? I need to put him on my draft board here.
Nick Amanawari,
Okay, gotcha. From
safety.
South Carolina. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Um, 30 here to the Bills. I expect them to absolutely go with somebody who's going to help them defensively. And I'm going to take the Boston College edge, Donovan
Yeah.
Iziraku
Good luck.
from Boston College. The whole time I've been looking at his name, I'm like, how am I going to pronounce this when I inevitably pick him? But I'm taking him 30 to the Bills. I think they could use some help getting the passer, and they just need anything they can get on defense, and I think he's the best player available defensively.
Yeah, 31 with the Chiefs. They do still have a lot of receiving weapons. Um, they did lose a couple guys this year in the offseason. I think I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna take Emeka Ibuka going to the Chiefs, giving the Chiefs another weapon. And I think that'd be great because I think he could be maybe uh the best receiver in this class over Ted McMillan.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm no longer doing a trade because I was gonna have the Patriots trade up to 32 and take him at 32. But for the Eagles at 32, I mean, what do the Eagles really need at this point? They're such a good team. They don't have really a single hole at all on their team, but I expect them to go something with defense up front. So I'm gonna have them take Kenneth Grant from Michigan, the interior defensive lineman. Just another situation where similar to who did I take? Who was my last team? The Bills. They don't or no, the Bills do have needs. I forgot who I was going to say, but similar to a team that does not need any specific holes filled on their team, a guy like Kenneth Grant can fill that. So give me Kenneth Grant at 32.
It does sound like the Eagles are shopping Dallas Goedert, and
Oh, wow.
he could get traded here right before the draft. And if that were to happen, I can see them taking his replacement here,
I can see that
Colston
as well.
Loveland.
I can see that as well. But that will about do it for this episode of the Engage 8 podcast. We will be back to recap the draft next week, as well as give you another update on the NBA playoffs. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit all the links in our description for TikTok, Spotify, social media, and all that good stuff. And we'll see everybody in the next one.